From the creators who brought you RuPaul's Drag Race and $1 Million Listing, this is World of Wonder's Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's highly anticipated edition of The Report. That's the Wow Report. I'm your host, Benton Bailey, and thrilled to be here with you, and of course, with James St. James. Woo! I keep on saying you are the world's first celebutante, James.
I am. You know, it is in the Oxford English Dictionary. My name is in the OED under celebutante. That is my great claim to fame in life.
I'm going to say no more. That is amazing. That's incredible. And here, Tom Campbell, you, Tom, also deserve to be in the Oxford English Dictionary.
Under what word?
I was just trying to think of that.
Gorgeous.
Kitty cat lover. Is that a word? Is that a word?
All right, let's start the countdown. Number 10, Tom.
Number 10.
We all want to discuss something that's heavy on our hearts. It's really sad news, but it also is a joy-filled memory. And that is long-time employee number 1 at World of Wonder headquarters, Alex Garcia, who passed away.
Quite suddenly this week, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to explain to people without sounding like hyperbole, but I say he was a portal of love. He was our guardian angel. He made our world a wonderland. And it's not that we took Alex for granted, but when that kind of love light is taken away, its absence is so clear. And how many people he touched while he was here. And he took care of all of us. Anyway, I don't mean to hog us.
I think that is...
Yeah.
Every person that came through World of Wonder, even if they were there for a week, Alex was their best friend. Alex introduced you to everyone almost to the point to where it was annoying. Like, yes, I've met that person before, you know, but he just wanted to make sure that everyone knew each other and liked each other. And I love Alex and I'll miss him dearly.
Yeah. Well, he was a gentle goofball is what he was. And he talked 100 miles a minute and you never understood a word he said. And yet you just giggled hysterically at everything he said. I would always say to him, I had 3 words that I knew in Spanish, and he would yell them to me every time I saw him. Every time you came in, your desk would be rearranged. He would rearrange your desk in the middle of the night and leave you a bowl full of Halloween candy or a McDonald's Happy Meal toy, and you knew it was from Alex.
Yes.
Wow.
He, Theron wrote this beautiful tribute. I just want to read a couple of bits from it because Theron, earlier this year, we celebrated Alex's 25 years at World of Wonder. So that goes back to 2000, which was when we bought the building on Hollywood Boulevard. And there were squatters in the building. And it was in a bit of a state. But then one day, from the downstairs edit suite, Alex emerged. And we're like, who are you? And Alex was like, well, I live here. And we're like, okay. And we were like, he's like, well, I take care of the building. And he just came with the building. And we said, well, he got his own place, but he stayed with us and was just there, come rain or shine.
12 hours a day, every single day. He would come in on weekends.
And when Rue got his star on the boulevard, Alex polished it every day, cleaned it, sprinkled glitter on it. And that was on the sidewalk. But on the roof, he created this beautiful garden that is just... Tom said it's not like he was taken for granted, but he was just there. And now he's not. And Theron said, he was the heart and soul of WoW, authentic superstar, and just touched so many people, because anyone who came to that building, whether they were working at World of Wonder or they were going to rob the place or whatever, they dealt with Alex and everybody loved him.
And I've been hearing from so many former employees, so many Drag Race girls, so many people who have done shows with us. Everybody just is devastated, but everybody has a smile on their face as they talk about him because he was just an angel. He was just a little angel sent to us.
And just, all you can do when you lose someone so dear is, I guess, hope that we don't take life for granted, as we all do. But the lesson, one of the many lessons from Alex is like, he left behind mountains of accomplishments doing tiny good deeds all day long for 25 years, mountains of accomplishment. It's like billionaire, schmillionaire, inventor, politician. Alex gave something that's just incalculably valuable. And I'm so lucky. I think we all feel this way, that we get to know him, that, and I do be more like Alec. It sounds cliche, but he is.
I do hope that we put a plaque up and have Alex's garden in the.
Absolutely. We're going to put a plaque up and we'll do.
We're going to have to hire 10 people to keep it up. Other things he did alone.
Blake's going to be, I don't have time to produce this show anymore. I'm busy in the garden. Well, rest in perfection, Alex. You're our number 10 this week, and you're our number 1, I think, forever, really. So, number 9.
Number 9.
The new issue of Vogue came out this week, October.
The September issue.
No, it's the October issue. We've already had the September issue. The October issue, and I'm not sure if this is the first post-Anna issue, but it has Gigi Hadid and Kendall Jenner on the cover, and it is a clunker, dear God in heaven. It is just awful. It is Gigi and Kendall are wearing this sort of trad wife, conservative Little House on the Prairie cowgirl outfit. The whole editorial is them on a farm with a hayseed and, with a piece of wheat in their mouth and a cowboy hat. And it is nothing new. It is the most boring, right-wing coded piece of crap. And then Chloe Mal, the new editor-in-chief, did the interview with them, and the three of them are the most boring. It's the most boring interview I've ever read. We don't learn anything about any of them that we didn't already know. That there's probably that much to learn about them because they're pretty vacuous people, all three of them. I'm terribly sorry, but I do just want to say that it has been stated that Chloe wants to take Vogue in a whole different direction. And instead of having monthly issues, she wants to do special one-offs a couple times a year, 3 or 4 times a year, sort of like Wallpaper magazine. And she wants to try and move the demographic away from the middle class aspirational tone that the magazine has always had, where it's about people aspiring to wealth. She wants the actual wealth to start being part of the magazine, which is sort of taking away your entire demographic. And I don't know that rich people actually read magazines anymore. I don't know that it's a wise idea. So I just, the whole thing is a shitstorm.
It seems weird if you are not going to publish the magazine every month. My gloss on that would be, well, it's over.
Yeah, exactly.
A slow death, a slow bleeding.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to sort of put lipstick on that pig and say that they're going for wallpaper, that they're trying to make, special issues every couple of months that people will rush out and buy because they're, they've created sort of
I like the idea of eventizing the magazine in the abstract, around Halloween or Christmas or whatever they would choose. Fashion Week, do things. Monthly doesn't necessarily... it's like late night no longer is as relevant because everything time shifts. So it's like, why not create? But the idea of skewing richer.
Well, it's funny because I saw a little clip of Anna talking about Chloe Mal, and she was raving about this article she did called Doge. And I thought it was about some sort of take on Doge and some sort of searing social satire.
It's Doggy Vogue, isn't it?
It was Doggy Vogue. And I thought, yeah.
No, I mean, Tom loves, Tom, if they had Vogue, Kitty Vogue.
That's different.
Yeah.
Let's see what November brings.
There you go. Well, I'll be back in November to tell you how it's going.
Moving on to number 8.
Number 8.
Very exciting last week, the announcement of we're making a movie.
We are from the Drag Race universe.
We're making another movie.
We are making the first theatrical movie from the Drag Race universe, not ignoring The Bitch Who Stole Christmas, which of course was a made-for-TV movie. It's not titled yet, though. John, what can we reveal about the plot?
Well, it stars someone named RuPaul,
Woo!
who plays President Judy Gagwell. I think that sums it up. I don't think you have to go deeper into the character than that. It's directed by Adam Shankman, who is a friend of WoW for a long time, who's worked with
Brilliant.
Hairspray, you know, that has been on Drag Race. You know, he's the right fit for this. And I have to give it up to Randy and Fenton. It is not easy to put a movie together, whether it is 1930, 1970, especially in 2025. And they have been able to scrape every dime and shekel and wrinkled drag queen tip dollar and get this sucker off the ground.
I love the idea that Rue and the drag queen are collecting their tip dollars to give to WoW to create this movie.
Sweaty dollars.
Oh my God, don't say that. You'll have the Drag Race universe.
The plot is that there's a train. What is the train called?
Well, drag queens are in charge of America's first ever hyperspeed, transcontinental, non-denominational bullet train. What could possibly go wrong?
Yes.
And so there's two drag queens. It goes off the rails or something, and President Gagwell has to step in and help. It just sounds like it's a nutty casserole of craziness.
It's a parody of a disaster movie meets, you know, Airplane. It's that crazy sense of humor. And funny you should mention The Bitch Who Stole Christmas, which is the most underrated, unseen movie in the face of all time. But it's the same writers. We met them. Christina Fiel and Connor Wright are the authors. Sure. And it's a incredibly funny script. The enthusiasm at this point is great. And it's just going to be, I hope, the stupidest movie ever.
Of Drag Race royalty cameos in the movie.
Absolutely, and there's going to be more announcements coming soon. But and Bleecker Street are our amazing partners. They're distributing, and Bleecker Street, you know, are doing the Spinal Tap sequel.
Oh
yes.
So they're hot.
They are. They're very buzzy. Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, which is actually out in movie theaters today. Yeah, they're also doing the Elon Musk documentary. Lord knows. I mean, that must be a mission impossible, I would say.
That sounds slightly dangerous and thrilling and interesting.
Not one train I want to be on board, for sure.
Right.
But not compared to drag queens on a high-speed bullet train. Nothing compares to that. The danger, the hilarity. Scheduled for summer of 2026, around the corner.
And I love Ruth's quote. He said, President Gagwell is the part I was born to play. Finally, a role I can sink my dentures into. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on with the top 10 things of the week that made us go, wow.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. I'm Fenton here with Tom and James and Blake, of course. We are counting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go, wow. 10, 9, number 7.
Number 7.
It's just out. I watched all 2 parts, 3 plus hours of AKA Charlie Sheen. The documentary on Charlie Sheen, done with his permission. He narrates, you know, he's interviewed throughout the whole thing. His father, Martin Sheen, his brother, Emilio Estevez, are not in it. They're mentioned a great deal. He's supposedly sober 7 years. Okay. And it's a very long drunkalogue that, you know, really he's a big addict, has been his whole life, has had periods of sobriety, always followed by worse relapses, which is very part of me. And I don't dismiss this at all. I think people should watch it and we'll learn a lot from it. It's very moving. Part of me thinks, and this is harsh, but like alcoholism and drug addiction is a disease. Obviously, it interacts with people socially in a way that other diseases don't. So it's very complex. But you can kind of chart what's going to happen to somebody if they don't get sober. You know, it's not that unpredictable. What makes this story especially fascinating is that Charlie's so candid about his misdeeds. And I forget, you're reminded of what an A-list actor he was, like the top of the heap, and how he took that away and then reinvented himself as a comedian in the was it Hot Shots and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, got to get it together, you know, went off the deep end, got it together again, and 2.5 Men. And what kind of one of the last giant hit television shows. And then again, during that, the resentment, the use, everything came back, and he destroyed that as well. John Cryer is interviewed. Sean Penn is interviewed. 2 of his ex-wives, Denise Richards, and I think her name is Brooke Mueller.
Sure.
A daughter, a son, and his older brother, whose name I forget, in Estevez. And it starts off in 70s Malibu, which, while he is a Nepo child, Martin Sheen was a huge and successful and revered actor. You know, they talk about Malibu in the 70s, and there weren't mansions on the hill, and they went to public high school. They were Nepo babies, and they were privileged. And then there's all this, early in the first one, all this Super 8 film that he and Emilio took with Sean Penn and young George Clooney. They had all these home movies, so there's this incredible footage. They went for 2 months to Apocalypse Now. They were on the set for 2 months as children, watching their father have a breakdown and a heart attack. And I mean, that's just the beginning of it. And then pills came into play, but it was really about cocaine and smoking crack.
Well, the 80s, the 70s, 70s into 80s into 90s. Sure. I do think that, interestingly, and I keep thinking this over and over again with Charlie, especially, is that you talk about, you know, people having soft bottoms, where he had probably one of the softest bottoms in Hollywood, where he had the money, he had the family connections, he had for it not to hurt him, his addictions, you know, for him. Three times, you know, because he went to rehab, and Hot Shots, the script was waiting for him when he came out of rehab. You know, it was like, and he was sober for a year. The way Hollywood would enable him and allow him to continue his messiness and play off of it, like the Tiger's Blood and all that stuff, when he was really out of control, and the press just treated it as what a goof he is. He is a goofy addict, you know.
And one of the early examples of celebrities not being sheltered by any kind of PR, just direct Twitter, you know, his message. And it was, as most train wrecks are, as he will admit and his friends will admit, was everyone was interested. Everyone watched. People paid tickets to go to stadiums to watch him say it. Yes.
And people thought it was funny the way he went off the rails. And that's a fascinating thing, because that's a very unique situation to have.
And he was paying $2 million. He's being paid $2 million an episode for the last 2 years of 2.5 Men. And, you know, they talk about the struggle. Chuck Lorre's also on it. He talks about, you know, them giving him the money, knowing they were setting him up for disaster, but also the money making of the machine and how evil all that can be. The big headline, which is kind of interesting, but I thought very fresh and new, was the big headline is he admits to having sex with men.
Yeah.
That crack opened up that door, that crack makes you hypersexual.
It does. And meth, you know, you find yourself, I had sex with women on meth. So, I mean, you know, you find yourself in strange circumstances.
He doesn't talk about it like, ew. He talks about, you know, when you're given a menu and you're hypersexualized and you realize, oh, there's a back to the menu, and maybe I'll have that appetizer, or, you know what, let's just get one of everything. And he doesn't regret it. You know, he is HIV positive, non-detectable, healthy, but I forgot about that part too, and how he survived that. So his very presence, his very ability to narrate this, and his survival is a miracle, and gives you some hope that there's hope from addiction. But you just hope so much that this isn't another soft landing. And again,
but that's just it right there. I hope like you do, that this is the beginning of a great part of his sobriety and everything like that. But seeing him on Kelly and Mark the other day, and he's been doing the rounds, he still has a vibe about him that is frenetic and feels like it could go off the rails at any moment. Right. he's sober and he talks about his sobriety, but I worry about him because there's something that's still wrong and not wrong, but there's still something that feels addict like in
like
his...
you can't predict. You never know who it's going to stick with and who it's not. It's been 7 years. And the other thing, even though they're not in the movie, the disease is such a family disease because his father has been with him and loved him. They talked about how Martin Sheen's philosophy is, I just love my children. And, you can criticize, oh, are they codependent? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? They did the best they could. And also seeing the love that his ex-wife still have for them. One of them has a big using problem still. It's very complicated. It's worth seeing. It's a lot to take in one night, but I did it.
Wow. That does sound like a really intense watch.
But it's worth seeing. And it's called AKA Charlie Sheen on Netflix.
All right. Number 6, James.
Number 6.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the VMAs, which were on last week on CBS. The MTV VMAs were on CBS instead of MTV, which is very odd.
Just means what we already know, that we're very, very old.
Very old, and that the VMAs are for old people. Now, sometimes with these, like Teen Choice Awards and VMAs and stuff, like it's all these people that you've never heard of before. You feel so old watching it. They did a really good job this time of including
Granny
old people from the 80s and the 90s. There was a tribute to Mariah Carey, who she toddled out. I love her for it. They just sort of like show her the mark and she comes out and sings, jumps around a little bit. There was a tribute to Busta Rhymes, which was, that was my generation as well. I do want to say that I am obsessed with Yungblud. I've been wanting to talk about him.
Oh my God.
The last couple of months, he is they call him the evil Harry Styles on social media.
I love that.
He has that same sort of energy about him. He looks like a cross between young Mick Jagger, young Steven Tyler. He's got that lanky body. He's got that lanky torso with the leather pants. He's got those big, big lips and the hair. He's so cute. And he is the future of rock and roll. He's so good. And by all accounts, he is a respectful young man. The way he treats his elders is, when seeing him, the way he treated when he was with Ozzy Osbourne before Ozzy passed away, is just heartwarming to see. He's someone that grandmothers can love, like Harry Styles. Grandmothers now were born in the 70s and 80s. They're rock and roll people. And he has this just wonder. He's so respectful of his fans. He's such a nice guy in interviews. And then he gets on stage and just rocks out. He's so good. I also
huge amount of energy, very, very cute. And because he's been around for a while, sort of bubbling under.
Yeah, it seems like this is his moment right now. Yeah. I also wanted to mention how much I enjoyed seeing Conan Gray perform, because I've been following him on social media, and he's just a cutie, but I'd never heard his music before. And he did that wonderful gay Romeo and Romeo number. I don't know if you saw it with his boyfriend, and it was good.
I thought that was so twee.
It is, but I like the idea. Troye Sivan, we love Troye Sivan, but he sings about buttholes and poppers and bottoming, and he's never going to break through in the way that Conan Gray can. Conan Gray is another one that grandmothers can love, and he's got that sort of Boy George where he's not going to, he's just going to sing these pretty little love songs, and he hits those notes. He was really good. He was really cute. And I'm just happy that we have another gay superstar to welcome into the firmament. Welcome, Conan.
Isn't Yungblud sort of pan?
He is very. He will kiss boys. He will do all of that. I think that he's probably straight, but he loves his gay audience. He embraces his gay audience.
And here's his book, James, that I'm teasing you with. You need to exist.
Oh, I have to get that. Oh, how fun!
Right. There you go.
Also very quickly wanted to mention Somber, who performed, that everyone goes a little nuts for. And I had never heard Somber either, and I was happy to see him. He sort of seems like someone who could have a 10-year career, 20-year. I mean, he seems like a real star to me. My niece says that he's ridiculous and I shouldn't be. So I don't know how the young people feel about him, but I thought he was sort of cute.
I am kind of over that, because he spells it SOMBR, like grinder. Like, can we stop?
Yeah, and it's a small. It's not a capital S. It's a small S. So it's a little.
Hey, it's hard to copyright a name these days, people. You got to do something. You got to drop a vowel or two.
But Blake, if anyone is twee, that's tweer than anything Conan Gray did. But and then after the at VMAs, Conan Gray did a bunch of shirtless pictures to get the thirst traps going. So I sort of appreciate that too.
All right, moving on. Number 5.
Number 5.
Congratulations to Alan Cumming, who won Best Reality Host at the Creative Emmys this past weekend. And I bring it up because I read his book, Not My Father's Son. And I got to tell you, it is a fantastic book. It tells basically 2 narratives. On the one hand, it's, the genealogy show, Who Do You Think You Are? It talks about him taping that and the experience of going on this journey to learn about his ancestors. At the same time, there is a narrative that gives the book its title, Not My Father's Son. So it's not a spoiler alert to tell you that into the book, he learns that his father was not, in fact, his father. And this is telling because all his life he thought he was, and his father was incredibly, horribly, appallingly, you cannot read some of it, abusive. And Alan survived this. Just how he survived this is itself a miracle. But because actually it's so, when you look at Alan, he's such a joyous, he's just this dynamo, rather than someone who you wouldn't look at him and think that they have been hideously tortured all their life by a man who wasn't.
But by the same token, maybe that's why he's so joyous, is that's your reaction to it and your escape from it, and you build up that. That's your coping defense, is to be a happy person.
I've definitely found him to be sort of such an inspiring person, because not that he will do anything in a way that he's indescribable, but he just throws himself into things and does things. He's not, I think sometimes actors are very concerned about the prestige of the next project and will say no more often than say yes. And the impression I have of Alan is he will say yes. He will do the Traders. He will do a local literary festival in Scotland. He will host the BAFTAs. It's just like an extraordinary amount of energy. And he does confess that one of his favorite things is a long haul plane fight, because as a result of all the things he does, he's on planes a lot. And he just loves he loves that.
For very busy people, it's a nice respite just to sort of lay in, that's where you recharge.
Well, he does say it's weird, isn't it, that you would find it calming, zooming through the air in a sort of metal cylinder. But I guess it's like people who can't sleep without the TV on. Right. You need all that stimulation to find a calm place. But it is beautifully written, and it's such a sort of triumphant narrative. And I promise you, I have not given it away. There is a huge, huge, huge other twist in the book. And I just wanted to give a rave. I should have read it years ago, but what prompted me was, I recently discovered I have a half sister, and she reached out to me, and she credits Alan with reaching out to me because she picked up his book in a secondhand bookstore and read it. And after reading that, that's when she DM'd me.
That's a crazy small world thing. That's
have you I not to get too far off track here, but she's in the UK, right?
She's in Australia.
Oh, she's in Australia. And do you have any chance to get to meet up, or
I'm gonna go? I promised myself I'm gonna go this year.
That's I want you to document it all on Instagram Reels, and I want to see every moment of it.
Very good.
And I wish you a deep, restful sleep on the 19-hour flight there.
Exactly. That's why I'm going. Any excuse to get on a plane. There is one other hilarious detail. It begins with him. He's in Cannes, I think at the film festival, doing some singing thing. And unbeknownst to her, he has been paired with her to do a duet or something. And the her is Patti Smith. And Patti Smith, not my favorite person, no shade, is appalled that she has to share the stage with Alan Cumming. And he says that what you might not know is that Patti Smith spits. And I just love this detail because you can just, she is this poetess. She is this amazing, iconic figure. But I just love the fact that Alan very dryly, not bitchy, just says she's just, you know, some of the people don't say it, they spray it. And Patti Smith is the person. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on with the top 10 things of the week that made us go, wow.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. Fenton here with Blake and Tom and James. We are counting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go wow. Number 4.
Number 4.
I'm back on the train, and the train is Only Murders in the Building, season 5.
Oh.
Now, I know you look, James's shoulders dropped. He exhaled like not another one. A recapper, because I live with recappers. I live with cats and recappers. They're the only people that talk to me at night. And someone said, yeah, it's television. Get it. They come back. There's several seasons. This one, and you know, by the way, Martin Short is 80 years old.
No.
Double check that, Blake. I believe he's 80 years old.
And he's hosting Match Game too.
Yeah. It's the Hot in Cleveland, Betty White, TikTok. Let's get this done. Let's get as many episodes as we can get down. Hulu released 3 episodes. I'm glad they did because they aren't the most, you know, they have to reset the table like every good, you know, arc season thing. And it takes a while. But Beanie Feldstein makes her appearance in the 3rd episode. And she's an old friend of, he's actually only 75 years old. Well, facts have always do me in. Still, he's 75. So Beanie Feldstein is a new character this year. She plays like a huge pop star who moves into the building, who used to be friends with Selena Gomez's character, and now they're nemesis. But it's around, if you remember the end of last year, the doorman.
Nemesis is the
female
of Nemesis.
I love that.
I learned something
number
new
4.
every time I talk to Tom.
Nemesis is number 4.
To me, the English language is Play-Doh. I just put it through the fun factory and see what pops out.
Did you just make that up?
Of course.
Okay.
I don't read. I'm not smart like you, James.
I'm terribly sorry. Keep going. I'm fascinated.
Nemesis. She's a nemesis. But
I have no idea what's going on.
No one does, and they just this is what people play when they want to go to sleep and they need a little energy in the room. That's what this episode's about. But it's all centers around the death, which we saw at the end of the doorman, who's always been there. I love the way they pluck a secondary character, put them at the front, and the second episode is dedicated to telling his backstory and how he first got there and what it means to be a doorman in New York. It's kind of very romantic and beautiful, which is one of the things that the Murders in the Building does very well. And it also, you flash back, because, you know, a lot of the people have died in that building, but they flash back. And so it's origin story. So you get to see people come back to life. You get to see a 3-year-old Selena Gomez visiting her aunt, you know, so it sort of sets things up in a nice way. Meryl Streep and Martin Short characters are married. She's in New Zealand. I guess we only get her for 1 episode this year, but we're looking forward to it. As the actress, she's in New Zealand. He talks to her a lot on the phone. It's gloomy, but with the Alex passing this week and then having just watched the Charlie Sheen documentary, there's a lot about being old and lonely and finding purpose. I know that sounds gloomy, but that's underneath and being woven into this sort of slapstick comedy. So I'm back in. Oh, and the other characters, Diane Weiss plays the widow of the doorman.
That's good.
So that's pretty amazing. And then Renee Zellweger. They introduced a billionaire storyline. 3 billionaires entered the scene right at the end of the episode, and Renee Zellweger is one of them. So they're going to have their take on billionaires. And Téa Leoni plays a widow of a mob guy who's also part of the, I don't know if he's part of the plot or red herring or whatever. It's all.
And are the 3 billionaires, do they have their own rival podcast or something?
We will find. They just showed up. There's unbeknownst to us, underneath the Arcania, what was it called? Underneath the building is a 100-year-old speakeasy gambling operation that the mob goes to, and that they show up. So I don't know. I'm goofy.
They try and put too much into a season when they have all the. Like, I thought the Shirley MacLaine stuff was a clunker in season 3. Was that? I can't remember. I stopped at some point.
It hits and misses, but it ultimately makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? And I like that they take the chances.
Comfort food for you. And I when I'm watching it, I feel that. But sometimes it's hard for me to get back into the swing of it. I don't know.
It's very clever and very dense, I think. I mean,
yes.
Don't you think? I mean, they do pack it in.
All of that. And I think it's not like 9 jokes in a minute, but like one works, one doesn't work. But it's clever people. And to me, it's back to the Grace and Frankie, the Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin. Like, that wasn't the best series ever, but seeing those two perform was like a masterclass. And I seen Steve Martin and Marty Short.
To me, the whole premise is a hard one to keep reinventing each time that there's another murder in this building. It feels like, really, you're going back to that well again. But
you really have to believe the premise, James. Like, since when does that, like?
There's a moment where Diane Wiest is with the doorman, and it's in flashback, and it's like she's like, so what? 1 murder in the building, 30 years. What do you have to complain about? And then they cut to all the other dead people. And she's like, no, 4 is a lot. 4 is a lot of murders. Well, they're self-conscious about it. Anyway, it's back. Just a warning signal to you, people who love murders in the building. It's back. It's on Hulu. There's 3 episodes to watch. Go do it.
I say that's a lot of murders for a building. But I did just do a podcast about the Riverbank building. Fenton, I think I told you about this Riverbank, where I lived with Michael Alig, and where the murder of Angel happened. And there, I did a podcast. It's the Riverbank podcast, and apparently there have been 4 murders in that building since Angel, and they were like, and so there are.
Well, there you go.
Damn.
Yeah. So
you just demolished your own argument.
I did.
So we'll leave that in for sure. All right, what number are we? Number 2.
We're at number 3.
Okay, number 3. Yeah, that'll do.
Number 3.
Assholes at baseball games. I wanted to talk about what is up with that. There were 2 incidents over the past couple of weeks that we need to talk about, because the first one, there was a billionaire CEO named Piotr Cesarek who snatched the ball from a 10-year-old boy, and just it was shocking, the brazen way that he just grabbed it and walked off, and immediately he was doxxed. He was, people found out who he was and online, and within 24 hours, his billion dollar company went down 15%, lost 15% of its profits because of this. People were so furious with him, and he came out with this just nasty reply to that, saying, he said, he said, yes, I took it. Life is first come, first serve. And if you were faster, if he was faster, he'd have it. And then right afterwards, this company tanked even more. And so then he came out with, he denied that the statement was his, and added that he did not mean to hurt the boy or hurt anyone's feelings, that he was very sorry and he has given the ball back, blah, 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 blah. But he only did it after his company started tanking. Well,
this is the age of the non-apology, I'm afraid. That's how I'll remember this decade.
Double down. Like, yes, I did it, and I do it again.
Exactly.
That is that 2025 thing. Then there was also a woman, I don't know if you saw her, the Ultra Karen, who with the ball, the guy got the ball for his daughter, I can't remember, his son, and she came over, just her face twisted with hate and rage, and was furious. And they closed on the big camera, the what is it, the Jumbotron. They showed her face just like an evil old crone screaming at the boy, give me the ball, like a witch with her apple. And
the slippers.
Give me the ruby slippers. the entire stadium booed her out of the stadium. She had to leave because everyone was booing her, and she has since, I'm so sorry. Da, da, da. And so, but what is it about these people?
Before the national anthem, should people do so they do 15-minute breathing exercise or something?
Yes. It feels to me like I don't
They
know.
should give everyone a ball. Everyone should get a ball. You get a ball.
To me, if I was in a stadium and the ball came at me, first of all, I would duck and run and try and not to catch it. But if for some reason I had a ball, I don't want a ball. I don't need a ball. Look for the nearest kid, give it to them. Like, to me, it's a no-brainer. I just don't understand why people would be so mean about balls.
Can I just say, in defense of the Karen, in the videotape, it feels like the ball is definitely there, and this guy comes in and sort of snatches it away. Now, he is redeemed because he gave it to his kid, but
yeah,
it did feel like, well, I don't know. It didn't feel so cut and dried. I mean,
well, but to get that upset over a ball, it just, to me, that's the weird thing about it. Like, yeah, you can, oh, it's mine. I'm going to give it to my kid. Oh, give it to your kid. I mean, like, to me, that's the way the conversation should go. It shouldn't be gnarled, twisted, evil. I'm going to murder you.
No.
It just feels like par for the course for this Trumpian age to these Karens and nightmares and CEOs.
More meditation.
Evil CEOs.
What do you call a male Karen then? What's the male Karen?
Oh, we had a name for that. I can't remember. Blake, you probably know.
Jimmy St. Jimmy?
Blake has left the building. All right, let's go on to number 2.
Number 2
was in New York recently, and we went to see a bunch of shows. And First Shadow, the sort of stage prequel to Stranger Things, went to see that. I know. I thought it was going to be magnificent and amazing. And I thought, well, maybe it's just because I'm not really a Stranger Things fan that maybe I'm not getting it. But I thought it was awful. I thought it was absolutely awful. And I was so sort of stunned that I'd gone to this thing thinking it was all, everyone's raving about it, thinking it was, am I in another universe or something?
Yes, but that shouldn't bother you.
No, but it was a prequel to Stranger Things, or it was what was it?
Prequel. It's sort of an origin story of the antagonist, Henry Creel. And it begins with a huge bang. Just a stunning sort of climactic set piece that normally would come later.
Was it musical?
No, I don't think it was a musical. I can't quite recall. It was just so massive. It begins with this great reenactment of the Philadelphia experiment. Why not? And then you are telling the story of this kid who's got kinetic powers, and he's a bad guy and murders local cats. Kind of like not a character you can feel much empathy for.
Oh, you just brought Tom right in.
It was just, and then a subplot within this was that Joyce, who plays the main character, Winona Ryder, right? Joyce is a drama teacher at a school, and they're putting on a play, and the whole thing is so hokey and hackneyed, and like a sort of weird parody of how people think amateur dramatics is. I just wondered if you had feelings or thoughts about it, if you'd seen it.
No, I didn't. Stranger Things is something that that first season I was right there. I loved every second of it. But then as it went on, I fell off of it. So I don't know that I would ever want to see anything.
Right. Well, okay. Well, I won't dwell on it. But one of the interesting things I thought was that, a lot of people have said that, the way Broadway has been commodified, which I'm not sure that that's valid. The idea that a TV show spins off and jukebox musicals.
Oh, right, yeah.
But there was a device. It did feel very much like watching a TV show. And I noticed that, like, Sunset Boulevard and Call Me Izzy which also saw, and maybe Happy Ending, especially this device of taking the stage and sort of masking it off and making essentially the stage a moving screen of different sizes. So you can have like performers up top and then performers down below. And I thought it was really interesting the way TV is being incorporated into Broadway.
But we've talked about this where I don't want Broadway to be stripped down a bare stage with a screen. I want massive sets. I want huge productions. I want if I'm paying that much money to go to a show, I don't want a white stage with a TV screen on it.
Well, what if the leading man is in tight black briefs at the end? Does that help?
And that's just, like Evita and Sunset Boulevard, where that guy, the Jamie is his name, the director, who he's never met a naked man covered in blood that he doesn't like, is sort of what the idea is. But was the set for this? Was it, because I imagine like the Upside Down world could be beautifully done on stage. Was it? You say that it wasn't a big, huge, lush production?
No, it was a very expensive, lush production, and they had a giant spider type thing.
Oh, I love that.
That did not connect with your heart or your soul.
I'm afraid it did not. It felt empty. Let's take one more break. When we come back, the number one thing this week that made us go, wow.
Wow.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Wow Report. It's good to have you here. We've been counting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go wow. And we've reached that climactic moment of revealing number one.
Number one.
We don't have a lot of time, so I'll keep this short. But basically, when I say this, tell me who you think of. James, kiss my grits.
Oh, God bless.
Polly Holliday, great actress, was in stage shows, was in Gremlins, the movies, but for 4 years on CBS back in the 70s when sitcoms were king, she played Flo, the waitress in Alice, with Linda Lavin, Beth Howley, Vic Tayback, and like a great 70s sitcom, I don't know why this doesn't still happen, the big characters, the Fonz had the everybody had a
Nanu says more.
Yes, and the Mr. Cotter, all that kind of stuff. Her line was, she was this brash, red-wigged, tall, from Texas,
hairdo,
beehive, gum chewing. And Vic, I watched clips because Vic would kind of like harass her, would like grab her butt. He was like into her, and they kind of had this sweet relationship, but it was founded on harassment, as things were in the 70s. And you would just wait for her to get revved up and just say, Mel, kiss my grits. And the audience would go into, I'm telling you, maybe if we had more one-liners in sitcoms like that, there wouldn't be as much violence at baseball games, because there's some kind of communal release when you get that notion. Now, this is nothing to do with Paul Holliday, but she always reminded me of Opal Gardner. This is for you, James, the character on All My Children.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh, those brash redheads, those saucy, kind of slutty redheads. Yes.
And who was that actress? Lyman, Dorothy Lyman.
Yeah.
And then she went to Mama's Family. So they're different people. They had different lives. She had been sick for a long time, Polly Holliday, and she passed away. And she's the last surviving member of the star cast. Beth Howland.
Quickly mention though that she also was in Mrs. Doubtfire. She was in Gremlins. She was in Stir Crazy. She had that famous episode of The Golden Girls where she's the Rose's blind sister. Yes. She was in Parent Trap. She was very famous. Yeah. Heartbreak Kid. She's done a lot of you would recognize her, but she did not look like Flo in her other roles.
No, it was, and that's what I think is she was such a brash character. It's like Ellen Green in Little Shop. They don't look anything. They created a character that will forever remain, in our minds. And Beth Howland, who played the ditzy Vera, she was in Sondheim's company. She was like, I'm not getting married.
Yeah.
Linda Lavin, who we lost last year, a huge talent Broadway, and so many Broadway stars became sitcom stars. That was part of the trajectory in the 70s. Anyway, Polly Holliday, rest in perfection. And can I just tell to everyone in heaven, kiss her grits, kiss her grits.
I think that's good advice for daily life too, for those of us still here on Earth.
I challenge you both and everyone listening and Blake to use "kiss my grits" at least once today. In context, just
consider it done. Gonna do it.
Good.
Thanks for tuning into the Wow Report on Radio Andy Sirius XM. Listen to previous episodes or watch them on our YouTube channel, Wow Presents. And if you want more World of Wonder, and I can't see why you wouldn't, subscribe to Wow Presents Plus. You can watch there. Just right now, we've got Dear Viv, a new documentary about the Vivian. We have Drag Race Philippines, Asian Royale. We have Fashion Photo Review, Binge Queen.
You have actual Night Fever episodes, the video where you can watch them.
That's absolutely right. And you know what's coming soon? Pillow Talk with Butt King.
Well, I don't know what any of that means, but I'm intrigued and I will be there.
Lydia Butthole Collins and Corey King
well, of course,
come together to make Butt King.
Well, there you go.
Same time, same place next week. Until then, go out and do something that makes the world go
wow.
Kiss my grits.